rush a moment, please, let's take it easy. Oh.
Yay! I think it's time to begin. I guess everybody else who was signed up, they're just gonna miss out. I guess the identity did not match this call. What's up, ladies? I'm happy to see you. If you can share your screen, that would be great. Dory and Matilda. I think I know who you are, but I'm not sure about you, Dory. Welcome, Matilda. I think I know who you are, but let me see your faces. Then I know for sure who you are. I think it's much more fun with the screen on. What do you think? Having me talk like this, how do you like it? But it's all about identity, right? And that's the topic for today, the identity shift. And I'm really excited about this actually today because this is something that's has been on my mind for a long time, and it even is every single day. Identity shift is what it's all about. So I hope you are interested in shifting your identity. At least you will have some inspiration from me today. And before I begin, I just want to encourage you to take some notes because you should not trust your memory with such important information. And as well, put something in the chat if you have some comments, if there's something you would really love to know that you hope to get out of this webinar. I expect it to be something like 30 minutes. Good evening, I'm on, but I can't listen, okay? No problem. All right. Yes, so take some notes and also put some questions or comments in the chat. I may not be able to see them while I talk, but then I will make sure to see them in the end. And before we begin, I just want to give a few examples of, what I am doing to constantly shift my identity. And then later I have some slides prepared. As always, if you know me, I'm always prepared with slides. I just have something about slides. I like it to be visual. And since the topic is all about identity shift, I was deciding to put on this dress that some of you have seen before because it is the most uncomfortable dress that I have. I got it as a gift, I think 2 years ago, and when I saw it, I'm like, that's not for me. No, I cannot wear such a dress. It's too sexy, it's too slim, it's too colorful, it's too much. I just cannot do it. So everything that I said was my old me telling me, no, you cannot fit such a dress. You are, I think it was not even about if I was weighing too much. It's just, it's too slim. It's just like too much. It's just, no, it's not me. So immediately I'm rejecting the idea. But you know what? At the same time, I had this vibe like, I actually like it. It's just not me yet. And the word yet is what I really want you to write down with, big capital letters, because that can unlock everything. The same goes with my hairdo today. I decided, let me just try to do something else. And I have so many different things here in the back. It's not much comfortable, but I like it. I like a new look. So I have to pay the price of a little bit uncomfortability, a little bit of pain, but it's still something that, helps me on a great vibe. And that's something I want you to, remind yourself throughout today and also after this webinar, that every time you want to become somebody, it will be uncomfortable and a little fun at the same time. Sometimes very uncomfortable and very little fun. The fun comes after you have done it. The same when I decided to become an investor 4 years ago. It was fun and scary and extremely uncomfortable. Now it's more fun and less uncomfortable, but it would never have become fun if I hadn't begun. And the last thing I was putting down as a note today, that I can't even remember when it was, at least it's 1 year ago, I think, I decided that from now on, I'll put on a full makeup every day. Like with the concealer, with the whole deal. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I was paying attention, and this Sunday when I went to buy my groceries, that a lot of people look like, and I looked at them like, well, you look like a Sunday. No worries about that, but I have just decided I'll never look like a Sunday, at least when I go out. Now it's just a part of my identity. In the beginning, I was thinking like, oh, when I had my dog, I was putting on always a lipstick. I just decided I'll not be that person looking, in the phone, looking like, not their best at least. if I have the opportunity to look better. So it's all about those small things that just really add up. And I just want to give you some very low-key examples from my own life. Even the water I'm drinking. I was grabbing a regular one. I'm like, no, why not take this one? It has more vibe. It has more future me. Because where I'm going, I'm not drinking of big water glasses. I want to drink of a glass that somebody else is serving me, right? So maybe you think like I'm a little weird. Yes, I am weird. It's my trademark. Even my kids, they're like, Mom, you're just too weird. And I said, well, I'm weird. I'm embarrassing. But that's my trademark. I'd rather be that than boring. That's my biggest fear. Don't tell me I'm boring, then I have done something wrong. So you can have your own statements about yourself, and that's really what it is. Identity is, it's your statements about yourself. How do you talk about yourself to yourself and to other people as well? That's where you'll start learning about, what is the current identity that you have. And since I didn't really know how to understand what was my identity, I thought it was my name. I thought it was like, my parents, how they raised me, my physical body. It's not who I am. I'm not Marianne. It's just my name. So I can design who I want to be, and the same goes for you. And I hope you have a dream of becoming somebody else. It's not illegal. It's not weird. I actually think it's more weird to just think that who I am for right now, this very moment, it's just the version that I want to remain until the day I die. That would be the worst. Because that means that you'll just relive the same life every year. Like we soon have a new year, you will not really have a new year. It's just like nothing happens. You're just more of the same. So, everybody is welcome. If you don't have no goals, I'll say probably this is not for you. If you just have the slightest goal, it's very good. Okay? Because today I want to talk about the what, not the what to do, but the who to become. I have been extremely, focused on what to do, planning, figuring everything out. It's how I'm really, my natural state is I want to plan out everything. I want to figure out everything. I want to make sure that I know how to do certain things before I begin. So I've had to really work a lot with myself to overcome that. Since I educated myself a lot within mindset, I'm realizing that success is 95% mindset and only 5% strategy. And the funny thing is that we are raised, more or less all of us, through the school system, through the jobs, our parents, to spend 95% on the strategy. You need to know how to do that. How have you been thinking to do that? Our parents always ask us that. Hey, I want to do this. How do you want to do it? How? So we think we need to constantly know the how and what to do. It doesn't come before the who. First, you need to figure out who you want to become. And then later, the how will appear. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'll do my best to really explain it. This way, it works for me. It works for everybody that I work with. But it is a massive shift also. It's a mindset shift while you do your identity shift. So really try to help yourself that where you're at right now compared to where you want to go, it's not about the how, about the what. It's about who you need to become in the process. And either we know it or not, we have a self-image. We have an idea about who are we. Like I just said with this dress, like, this is not for me. Why not? Why not? Or I'm not eating this food, or I'm not going to this restaurant, or I cannot. Somehow we have created a self-image. I'll not dive so much into that today because it can be like a separate webinar, but it's an image that we have about ourselves, who we are, what we can do and what not, how we talk about ourselves. I'm not a person who can do this, or I'm just a person who is doing that. This is when sometimes you express it and you realize what actually just came out of my mouth. Like, is it the picture that I have of myself? So when you want to level up to a new level, you want to start becoming that person spiritually. And now, the thing is that if you have no belief in energy, spirituality, you might as well jump off the call, because this is really the thing that will help you the most. If you can tap into that, just either you really believe it or not, just really hang on as much as possible, because this is where you can change your identity. So many times we are enslaved to the, I need to see it to believe it. Maybe some of you want to become a business owner. And I need to know for a fact that I'll be successful before I begin, or I don't want to start on this diet unless I know that I'll lose 10 pounds. Well, there's no really those guarantees. But the thing is that we have an imagination. We have an imagination where we can see everything. We can mentally see with our eyes. We can mentally hear with our ears. We can mentally smell. We have all the senses. They work on a mental level also, on a spiritual, energetic level. So if you start seeing yourself as that version that you really want to become, you have seen it and you cannot unsee it. So whatever goal that you have for yourself, you can put it in the chat if you want to share it, but the goals that you have right now, you cannot reach them with the current version that you have. If you would already have done it. So this means that you must leave your current you need to move to the next level. And to bridge that current self with the future self, that's the biggest issue that we have. Because we know who we are right now, and we also know that we are not happy with that version overall. Maybe we're okay, but some elements we are not. And we are still not in the new level. So we are like, a little in between, and we may sometimes want to go back in the comfortable zone, but that's, not where the growth is. So if you can really get used to seeing it for yourself, then you have seen it. That's enough evidence. Can we agree on that? If you can picture it in your mind, you have seen it. It's just not outside in the 3D world. It's in the 4th dimension, the 5th dimension, whatever you call it, with your 6th sense. You have seen it. And if you can see it in your mind, you can create it, because then you do have a picture. And this is now the new picture that you want to operate from, not the old one that says, I cannot fit this dress. The new one will say, we are doing this dress, either you like it or not. Okay, that's the only way to grow, to do the things that you don't like right now, because what you're currently, like or think is what's giving you the current results. So every time you're just about to tell yourself, I'm not ready yet, I'm not yet. And how do you become it? By doing it. So there's no way out of the doing, but it comes after you have seen the new identity. And the shift can only happen the moment that you decide that you want to stop struggling with the current version. It's like you try to, defeat the current version. You want to fight against your current version instead of just seeing yourself in the new version. Deciding that the picture you have in your mind is actually the truth. It's not who you see in the mirror right now. That's not the truth. It's a reflection of old thinking, old doing, old being. So the new level is when you decide that the picture that I'm seeing, it's for real. Like, who decides what's real? It's real on an energetic level, on a spiritual level, on a mental level. So, it's supposed to happen. That's what I often say. Do you really believe that the universe will allow you to dream certain things, see certain pictures, only for you to not make it? No, right? We are not in an evil world. We are in an abundant world with multiple options. You can be, do, and have everything that you want, but it all begins in here. Okay? Any comments on this so far? Are you with me? Yes? Okay. So, your identity creates your action. So either you operate from your current identity, like I just said with the dress, my current identity 1 year back, she was not happy to put this dress on. But I want to do like the opposite of what she wants, because I don't want her results no more. So if she suggests me to eat something that I know my future me is not eating that food, then I need to tell her, thank you for reminding me of what we normally eat, but I'm not eating that no more. This is what I'm eating. So you must like redirect yourself constantly. And pay more attention. I know we are 95% on an autopilot every day. So the 5% of the time you really, really need to be conscious about what you do and how you define yourself. Because if you say like, I'm always late on meetings or I'm always something. Okay, but then you keep doing the actions in alignment with that picture because that's how our mind, it wants to make sense of things. But if you are a person saying, everything always works out in my favor. I did that for a period of time. I wrote it every day in the morning in my journal. I'm just so happy and grateful. Everything works out in my favor. But I rather believe that than I'm just a person who's struggling every day. When I have the choice to tell myself something else, why wouldn't I do it? Because as soon as I identify with one of the two, my actions are already set out for that day. I just never succeed with nothing. It's not much motivating. I know already I'm not going to do the thing that could give me no new results because I already declared to myself that I'm a person who doesn't make, anything happen. While the other person will tell me, hey, you know what? Everything is possible. Just need to keep doing the work. So whatever identity you have, it has a certain number of actions that just comes with it. It's like you go to one shop to buy some dresses, you already know what type of dresses you will find. If you go to that other shop, you also know what type of dresses. It's the same with your mind. You make a picture and within that you have certain actions you can do. And if you want to do different ones, you need to create a new picture. Okay, so you need to always choose the next level. We don't want to level down, at least not when you're with me. So the thing is that, at least for me, I had no clue who I was. I really thought like on a physical level, like this is what I look like. This is how my parents made me. And how they programmed me. I had really no clue I could change it. As stupid as it sounds. Until one day I had a epiphany and I learned a lot of things. For I would say maybe 20 years I have been diving into personal development. So how do you define yourself? It's not your name. It's not where you grew up. It's that inner dialogue that you have every day. What do you tell yourself on a daily basis? What do you talk to yourself about? And how do you treat yourself? I have been the worst at treating myself. I treated everybody else from the best of the best. I was the biggest pleaser because I actually felt good when I have done something for other people. But I got addicted to that. And I thought that I was not really worthy of the same attention. Only when I have done something. I need to do something, then I get the feedback that I'm good enough. But what if I'm not doing anything? Am I still good enough? Who am I when I'm not doing anything? And how do you talk to yourself every day? If you have kids, are you the first one who eats? Are you the last one? What about at work? Are you the first one who's doing something? Are you always waiting? It shows up in your actions every single day. You just need to start looking at it. It really is a habit. The other day I was again looking at it, like I made something for my kids and I was sorting it out in some bags and I'm like, well, I want to just have a few. And I was about to grab the smallest one. I'm like, no, you just did all this work. You're grabbing the biggest ones, the ones that look the most juicy. So I'm still catching myself almost on a daily basis. And you can do that too. It's not really like rocket science. It's down to that regular, ordinary. Just level every single day. But it's still the 95% because that's what you do every day. The sum of the small things, that's how you really change yourself. But first you need to see, how am I actually treating myself every day? What is the inner dialogue that I have? Do you beat yourself up constantly? Or do you look in the mirror, you're like, oh my God, I'm so sexy today. I want to love myself. Hello, gorgeous. Where have you been my whole life? Or are you beating yourself up? Because I also did that for a period of time. I was every day looking like, oh my God, I look so tired. And I programmed myself. The next morning, I'm like, I look even more tired. It's just BS. Why am I telling myself something that makes me feel less? I would not tell other people that. So think about that. Would you say the same things to other people that you do to yourself? And how many friends would you have if you did that? Who would want to hang around with you? That's really interesting, right? So, the three pillars of how you can shift your identity. The first and the absolute biggest one is the mindset reprogramming. Constantly be aware of your mind. What are you thinking? What is this, the story that you tell yourself? Because it's a programming that constantly takes place. It's not like it ends. It's every sentence that you speak, every thought that you have. It's how you program yourself either to remain the same person or become a new one. I'm journaling every day, and only recently I started reading it out loud. I changed from English journaling to Danish. And now when I read it out loud, I'm really like more or less crying every single day. Because I'm speaking what I want to create. I'm speaking about the future goals as if it's already me. So it's constantly, I need to, like it's when you're learning a new language and you're speaking it a little bit wrong. This is how you can see yourself. You're right now not speaking it the right way. You say some nonsense during the day. So if it was a new language, your teacher will tell you, hey, you're now, not putting it the right way. So reprogramming, like every single minute that you're aware of what you're thinking, pay attention to what you're speaking. And we speak with ourselves most of the day. We are the one we have the most conversations with in a day. So just begin, with your own conversations. And then the self-image upgrade. That's where you want to start seeing, yourself from that new version. Who is the version, of yourself who has the results that you want? I don't know what type of goals you have right now, but maybe you have a business, you want certain results. How does this lady show up? How is she dressed? Is she sloppy? Is she businesslike? Is she always on time? Is she always late? Does she take care of herself? You need to start showing up as this version. And yes, it feels uncomfortable because mindsetting yourself, reprogramming, it's easy, easy because it doesn't really require any action, only the thinking part. But when you start taking action as if you're that person, then you're getting confronted with your comfort zone immediately. And you start finding all the reasons why, it doesn't have to be right now or whatever that may be. But don't fall into that trap because it's the old you talking. And if you obey your old you will have the same old results. It doesn't mean that you need to spend a lot of money. Like it can be, let's say, the next version of you want to be more true to yourself. You want to set more clear boundaries. You want to become better at saying no when you mean no and yes when you mean yes. It doesn't cost you nothing but the consciousness and the courage to do it. I did it recently and I have really become better at it. I don't need to explain or defend myself. If I don't want to join something, I'm just telling, hey, you know what? I'm not coming. So before I would be like, I need to explain and, I should go and they're nice people. But if I had agreed with myself, I will have a day that I'll not do nothing at nighttime or whatever that is. That's how you upgrade. That's how you're true to the version that you have inside. It's just not here yet. But how you create it is by doing the things that she would do. Maybe you have a role model in your life. Start really seeing what she's doing. Or maybe some of you saw I did this AI experiment. I told ChatGPT to create a more magnetic, confident, radiant. I think I put 4 or 5 different words about myself. And this lady showed up and I'm like, oh, okay. It's me, but it's not like me yet. But I want to show up more like her because I'm really picturing myself like living the life that she would be living, and what are the differences and how can I do those small things every day. I'm pretty sure she's not drinking from a sloppy glass, right? She's always on time because she looked like cool, calm, no stress. So even it's just a picture, it helps to see what are the things that you need to change. And then the embodiment, like you need to have the feeling of it, of her. I think actually I put a little bit here, yeah. So how you become her is, doing what she would be doing. Think how she is thinking. And you already know what it is. And that's why we need to stop asking for the how and the what. Because as soon as you really tune yourself in, align yourself with the next version of yourself, you already get those answers. They come as intuition, right? You're in the shop somewhere, and you have an intuition. I should buy this dress. Let's say you're here and you look at this dress. Maybe you don't like it, but you can find something for yourself. So you have this inner dialogue, like, I would actually love this dress. It's pretty cool, but it's just not me. Buy that dress. Maybe it will take you a couple of weeks to put it on, maybe even months. But when you put it on, you'll just be amazed the feeling that you have. You did it. You became her in that one action. Or you are out on a dinner. Since a few days ago, I had some women here, and they are non-drinkers. So we had non-alcoholic sparkling wine. And it actually just inspired me because I think I don't have a group of people who are really like, we are not drinking. And I'm like, well, that's also a self-image. And I can already imagine how many people will comment on that. So it takes some courage, some self-worth to just decide, but this is, I've had my share. I don't need, let's say, to drink more the rest of my life. Now people will start, questioning you. Or if you're changing your diet, come on, eat that cake. Why you not? Why people are doing that, it's about them, it's not about you. So you need to be strong in your belief that you have seen this version of yourself and you must obey the intuition. It gives you a little nudge, a little hint. Do this, say that, call this person, go to this place. That's how the how is unfolding. But if you're slow, if you are rejecting everything, then this whisper becomes less and less and less and less. The less you do, the more you struggle. That's just how it is. Or you start doing more of what you're currently doing because you really just wish that if you can just keep doing what you're doing right now, you'll have new results. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We must do the things that is not comfortable. And yes, if it was easy, everybody would do it. I just decided I'll put the truth out. I don't want to sit here and just, it's easy. It's not easy, but it becomes easier when you understand that this is how it is. It's not like the moment it feels uncomfortable, it's the evidence that you should not do it. It's the opposite. It's the, telling you that you're on the right track right now. Because if you feel comfortable, you already know that everything you have right now is within your comfort zone. So if you want something, it's outside of your comfort zone. So it's either you call somebody, it's uncomfortable. Somebody calls you for something, you accept something that you're a little bit nervous about. Yes, that's how you're growing. It takes a lot of uncomfortable growth, but it doesn't happen in one day, okay? It's not in one day. You do a little bit of growth every single day. You choose that glass that, yes, you cannot put it in the dishwasher. Okay, it takes you 1 minute. But this adds to your coming self-image. Or yes, you iron that shirt, it takes you 5 minutes of your day. You can scroll 5 minutes less. Because you have seen yourself as this businesswoman who has a shirt on every day and not a wrinkled one. Does it make sense? Like, it's really these small things. And it takes some uncomfortable, moments of your life. But the sooner you get to that version of yourself, the longer time you have to live as her. So speed it up. Like, do as much as you can every single day, because then you get used to it. I think I shared a couple of days ago also, sorry, from the gym. I also feel like, when I stand there in front of the mirror, I take my pictures, but I take the pictures because they're not for other people. They're for me to track myself, to see, am I progressing the way that I want? And yes, it's uncomfortable. And the next thing I want to do is ask somebody in the middle of their own practice to take a photo of me, just to make it really, really uncomfortable. And I know I'll be like, ugh. But I'm seeking constantly uncomfortability, because I know that on the other side of that, I'll be like, okay, one more down. Like, okay, what else haven't I done yet? It's just looking for things you haven't done yet. Because the current version has decided, nah, we are not doing that. So start looking, what haven't I done yet? What dress haven't I put on a regular day at work? A dress that I normally put on for a party, let me put it on a Wednesday to make it really uncomfortable. But it's still just a dress. It's not like you're showing up naked. Okay? Or whatever, just find your own examples and have fun with it. And just see how, like I said, with the grocery store, people looked at me like, hopefully they were thinking like, oh, okay, we all have our ways. I could maybe inspire somebody to level up a little bit, because I know the frequency is what we attract based on. This webinar is not about that, but every time you level up and do something uncomfortable, you have a massive release of energy. Who has experienced that? You do something that you have been a little nervous to do, and you finally do it, and you're like, woohoo, I want to do it again. Let me do it one more time quickly. And this means you have release of energy, you have a higher frequency, and now you're attracting on a higher frequency, which makes life easier. It's just what it is. But the things we need to overcome is more or less on a generic, plan for everybody. Fear of success. Fear of success. Most people think they are afraid of failure, but a lot of analysis has shown that most people are actually afraid of success, because we are programmed for lack and for, averageness, and let's put ourselves in the box. Let's not be too different, oh, that's not. But what you want hopefully has something to do with success. Who has goals to have more failures? Who wants less money, less fun? Okay, good. So you want something that's on a higher level. You want more of something. And you're supposed to have it. If you believe life is supposed to be positive, you're supposed to have it. It's not just the universe giving you a dream and then to laugh, in your face. The next thing I would say is probably the hardest. Old patterns, subconscious programming, because it takes time to understand who you are. But the more you pay attention to your thinking, to your actions, then you realize what is actually behind this action that I was just about to do or not do. Why again I want to skip my lunch? That's not self-love. That's not on a high level. That's not a person who really can achieve a lot of things if you cannot even, feed yourself. Just a basic example, but it's just pay attention to everyday habits that you have. Are you always putting other people first? How do you speak about yourself? It comes from, unmetabolized traumas from your parents or your great-grandparents. They didn't have the understanding to change it. But we have so many tools, we have so many gurus and material today that we can unlock it. We can discover what is actually the subconscious programming. Just don't think you can do it, before the end of this year on a total map out, because every new level brings out a new devil. That's just how it is. And you'll be like, oh, I didn't know. I was also like, that's okay. Then you work with that. But also the lack of clarity, the in-between feeling, the feeling of not being satisfied where you are right now, and you're not fully, have reached the next level. You feel like you are really nobody right now. You cannot recognize yourself. You don't know really. You can't put a label on yourself. You feel like the in-between feeling is what I call it. So that's another reason why to just speed it up, because the in-between feeling is just like, what to do. I'm stressed, I'm stuck. You cannot stay stuck. You need to move, do something. Something of the things that you have been ruminating, thinking about, procrastinating about. As soon as you do it, you're not in the between feeling anymore. You are moving forward. Okay? So you can look into this and see which one maybe, is for you the most, and then start just really working on that one. And something as well that's really key is that you can't create a new reality with the same identity. And for you to really create that new reality, you must have a hunger for change. You must create that hunger for yourself, because I know most of you here on the line, you have a good life, but don't let the good life stand in the way of the great life, of the here. If you do it as fast as you get the intuition, you don't have time to think to fail. You just do it. I hope you can hear me. I see my internet's a little unstable. So when you get the idea in your mind, it's just like, boom, let me do it right away. Hey, you know what? I'm thinking about this person. Let me call this person right away. I don't know, what I'm supposed to talk to this person about, but if I start thinking about it, I will not even know if I'm, getting to a result that is the truth. So it makes no sense to think about it. Pick up the phone and call that person. So this is the speed that you need. No comfort. We cannot really use comfort. Fall in love with discomfort and forget about knowing the how and the when and we don't get those answered. So more or less, I would say that everybody wants to attract something that has to do with a better health, more wealth, just in general, more happiness, more excitement, and more, life in alignment. And, if I can do it, you can do it. You need to just decide what is the identity that you want to have. What is the woman that you want to become? Stop thinking about what you want to have. Start seeing really, who are you becoming? The I am statement is the strongest statement of all statements. It's now you're defining yourself. I am the woman who attracts wealth, alignment, and ease because I've decided, not because somebody told me or my parents. Maybe sometimes we need to do the opposite of our parents if we want the opposite of their results. Or anybody else, a colleague who has an idea of what you should be doing. Thanks, but no thanks. Okay? You know what you want. So you can do it as well as I can do it. But I will say that I have not reached this level of awareness, first of all, because it has taken me massive mental cleaning, like massive. If you met me 20 years ago, you'll not recognize me. I had no clue about my mind. I thought really like I was my body, that's it, and my name. I was extremely ignorant. But luckily, I discovered, oh my God, this is the engine to everything. This is just, if I focus on this, everything works out. So if you are ready to really fully become her, which is already you, because when we point at her, it's like, it's not us. So if you are ready to step into you, your next level you, I want to help you with that. And some of you already, get some help from me in different areas. And one thing, if you don't know me yet, is that I will only help you with the things that I know how to do. I will never try to advise you in something that I haven't done. And that's actually my biggest why, is that I need to constantly push myself to do things so there'll be almost nothing, that I cannot help you with. Because I have a massive goal to help the most women in the world to level up. We have so much potential. We need to bring it up in the world and, finally take over this world, okay? Just my goal, just a small one. So for me to be able to help, I know some of you know that. I just, some of you I don't know that well, but when I decided to get divorced 3 years ago, I actually had this thought that it was supposed to happen. Because if I'm not divorced, then there's like 50% of the women in the world that I cannot authentically help because I don't know how it feels to be divorced. That's, how much awareness I had. I remember I told my mom, she's like, wow, you're weird. She didn't say that. It was just, but that's how I feel like I need to constantly do something that is not normal because I don't want normal results. I don't want for you to have normal results. So I need to move. And I'm doing that constantly. The next is actually that I'm moving to Spain. That's more on a physical level. But that's going to be extremely uncomfortable. Massive identity shift. I don't know one person in that area. And it will be, I don't know the language. I'm doing my best every day to learn it. But I realized that I need to do those things in order for me to really level up. I need to take massive steps, massive decisions. Like when I quit my job 9 years ago. I knew that I'm not a person who will do a little bit business on the side and then my job. No, I quit my job and then I'm effed. I need to make it work fast. That's how I do it. It may not be for everybody. It takes some practice to know that you can do that because you can get really overwhelmed. But I decided that if you want my help, I have put a really, really, really great price. And normally I don't even sell just 3 hours of, mentorship. It's like 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. But if you really have like maybe one specific issue that has been bothering you, like something you just cannot get started with changing in your life, or you have had for a long time something you want to do, you still haven't done it. 3 times, 3 sessions can actually unlock a lot of things. And from there you can see, how you may be able to just continue on your own. So this is like a 40% discount, and I'll keep it open until the end of this month, because as you probably also, I'm thinking like, okay, what happened to the last 3 months? Since August, it's like boom, boom, boom. And now we have 2 months left. So if you had a picture of yourself in the beginning of the year, how you want to end 2025, you need to push the gas pedal. A lot needs to happen. So there needs to be a lot of uncomfortable actions in a short period of time. And I know, you may want to not do that. At the same time that you want to do it, you'll have a lot of times where you wish you didn't have to do it. And in those times, it's great to have somebody that, will make sure to keep you accountable, because that's actually the part that I love. To remind you what you said you would do, and then ask you if you did it, and help you, to do it. So I have a website as well, my name, marianneschütz.dk, where you can see more about, what I do and the things that I can offer you to help you level up whatever you want to level up. Can be health, wealth, relationship, your self-image, your happiness, whatever. You know for yourself what you want to change in your life. But if anybody has some questions or some comments, I'm really very much open for that. I was considering to take that, to wear that white dress on the picture, because it was also a moment that it was from Spain like 2 months ago. I bought it when I didn't have a suitcase for 5 days. It was also very uncomfortable. So every day I just bought myself something new that I needed. Oh, I need today a dress. Oh, okay, let me go to the beach. Oh, I don't have a bikini. Okay, let me go out and buy it. So that was really also like 5 days of growth, because I was traveling just myself. So I couldn't borrow anything from anybody. And I had to keep my mind on a high note, because life, is what you make it. I did a post today, life is mental. What I think about an activity It's what makes it what it is. My suitcase was missing. It is what it is. If I'm thinking it's hell on earth, I had 5 days of hell. I just decided, let me have my insurance company pay me a new wardrobe. And let me see how much fun I can have with that. Yes, it was not fun, but I didn't want it to ruin my whole week. So, yes. Any comments or questions? I see you took some notes. I hope you learned something and that you're ready to put it into action, because action is the name of the game. The faster, the better. It's rather you do mini actions, small things, and just a lot of them, rather than sit and wait that you just really procrastinate for so long that now you feel you need to do something really, really big that it, requires so much courage that you'll probably not do it. It's like beginning at the gym and not doing nothing for 3 months, and then you decide you will put 100 kilos today. It's not gonna happen. So don't do it in your life like that. We need to begin with the boring, small stuff, and then later we become so good at it that now we can put ourselves into something with more pressure, whatever that is. But the more you endure, the more you will gain on the other side of it. That's my experience. The more tough it is, the bigger gains. So you might as well just get over with it so you can get to the gain part. Right? Bettina, I love your hair today. You look vibrant. Yes. No questions from nobody? You are happy? I hope you got some value of attending this today. And let me know, if any thought comes to your mind afterwards, so you want to just have a feedback on something. I was happy to see some new faces here today. I have a lot coming up in the next couple of months, so stay tuned and let's level up together. All right. Thank you for coming, ladies. I hope to see you soon again. Bye.